Hey beautiful people, it's Minsko here. So when it comes to picking color schemes for your UI design, web design, or branding design projects, it's really important that you do not use color generators. Because when you are picking a color palette, it is important that you align it with the business outcomes and also the target audience that we're trying to work with. So when you use a color generator, you are given a wall of colors, but it evokes no emotion. And it doesn't help you actually pick the right color palette so it has and aligns with the feelings and emotions that we want when people see it. If you also agree that color generators are not the most efficient way to select colors, let me know by gently smashing that like button. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want you guys to do is head over to Pinterest.com. And for this example, we are going to design a fitness and health and lifestyle app for millennials. And the feeling and the emotions that we want to evoke through the color palette is warm, it's calm, and it's refreshing. Okay, so those are the three things that we want to go for. So the first thing that I would do is I would go into Pinterest and I would literally type in fitness because that's what we're targeting for. But when we go into fitness, we will realize that we have a random sort of photos. Some of them are high contrast colors, some of them are muted, some of them have a lot of white space, and some of them are just filled with solid colors as well. As you can see, it's very inconsistent and I can't really pick out a color scheme from here. So what do we have to do? Let's refine the search a little bit. So maybe fitness is a little bit too broad. Let's search for gyms because gyms is a word that resonates with fitness. So here we can see that it gets a little bit better and we can see that the color palettes become a little bit more consistent. But at the same time, it still doesn't give us the exact vibe that we want to go for because you can see some of the gyms are very grunge and hardcore. So you can see there's circuits and then you've got some nice gyms which are a lot more calmer and a lot more relaxed. So how do we refine that further? So let's think about it. What type of gyms do we want to search for? Maybe it's minimal gyms. So let's type in minimal gyms. And here we go, we're starting to get gyms that are a lot more minimal, they're a lot more consistent, and the color palettes are a lot more muted, refreshing, and calm as well. So you need to make sure your search terms are effectively targeting what you are looking for. And sometimes, and in most cases, it's not the generic broad term that you will think at first. So here we will take a look at some of the photos and see which vibe do we resonate with the most and which ones resonate with the feelings and emotions that the business wants to communicate when their potential customers see the brand itself. So for me, I do like the color palettes where they're quite muted, quite fresh and light, but they've also got a bit of splashes of green because it gives it that additional accent they can use for CTAs potentially if they really, really wanted to. So we'll take a quick look through here. You can see that this one's quite nice, it's quite muted. There's bits of green popping through. You can see once you click on that photo, it actually pulls through some further photos that have the same sort of color scheme and also vibe and emotions when you see them. So here we can see that it's quite consistent. And if you don't like any of them, you can simply go back, take a look further and see which photos do you really resonate with. So this one's quite nice as well. It's very fresh, it's very clean, and we've got a bit of accents and greens popping out as well. So take a look at the photos and see which ones resonate with you the most. So once you've found the photos, head over to Figma, drop them in, and I was able to find these three photos that I feel like are very consistent in terms of emotions, the feeling, and the color scheme as well. And what's really important is you want to make sure that they all have the same sort of contrast and theme going on, because if you decide to pick colors from these photos, you don't want them to stick out like a sore thumb. So here we have the three photos. Now, the next step is, depending on what type of design project you're working on, is it going to be UI design? Is it going to be web design? Is it going to be specifically branding design? In this project, we're going to be working with UI design. So now that I've got the feelings and emotions and the general color scheme intact, I want to start to look for UI inspiration that fits within this color scheme. So head back over to your browser, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for Dribbble shots. I don't recommend Dribbble shots for UX inspiration, but when it comes to UI, there is some good UI palettes and color schemes that you can work with here. So once you head over to Dribbble, what I would do is I would literally type in the colors that I see in the photos that I picked into the search bar. So here we have white and beige. And here we can see immediately that these shots really do resonate with the photos that we took. So if we head back over to Figma, we can see that the palettes do line up quite consistently. And let's just quickly bring this over a little bit so we can see both of them at the same time. So here we can see that we've got quite a nice feeling that connects them two together. So what I'll do is I will simply click on this, copy it over, and I would resize it. And the reason why I do this is because I want to see this color palette in action. I want to see other designers using similar colors in a UI form. So you can close that and we might just find another one over here. Let's just scroll through and we might just use this one for example's sake. So this one looks quite nice. I don't quite like the gloss, but I just want to use this as an example. Here we go. Here, let's make this a little bit smaller and it's going to look quite nice. So now that we've got all the inspiration intact, we've got this inspiration, we've got photos that show us real colors in a real scenario. This is not artificially created. This is a real photo of a real situation and environment. So in terms of lighting, in terms of colors, it is all very, very natural, and they might have done some editing, but that's advantageous for us because they've already done the hard work to make sure all the colors look really, really beautiful. Then we've also got some UI, which other designers, great visual designers, have put together. They've already considered the different types of color schemes and all that good stuff for us already. So what do we do next here? There is a principle, a color principle called the 60-30-10 principle. So what does that mean? So what you would do is you would have 60% of a primary color, then you have 30% for the secondary color, then you have 10% for the tertiary color. And what this does is this will help you ground yourself and help you give you an understanding of how you should think about how much color you should use within a design. This is not the only way that you should define your color scheme, but it's a starting point for you to think about the colors and how you should break them up. So you don't have a color scheme that you have exactly the same amount of blues, reds, yellows, and it just looks like the rainbow. So here we have the 60%, and it's a very rough estimation. I haven't calculated it, but simply for example's sake, I want to make sure that we have a nice light sort of beige, as you can see in this design and in this design, as the primary sort of surface area. So in the background, I want to make sure in the screen, whenever we visit the website or the app, that this color is the 60%. So we can head over to our color picker and we can literally just go in and just find the colors that we want. So for example, we wanted the beige. Then for the secondary color, we wanted to use some sort of the gray, the charcoal-like color to make sure it feels a little bit more grounded, keep it quite muted, and only let the accents stand out in the UI. So for example, let's just say we want to pick a color around here. And obviously you can refine this over time. And then for the 10%, these are the accents. This is where we want to call out the call to action. We want to add a little bit of flair to the design, and we can head over to the color picker, and then we can go through and find a color that we feel like will stand out when used in the design. So potentially it might be even the green here. So as you can see already, without any tinkering, without any refinement, we have already picked a custom color palette from our process. Now, we didn't need to go and create a color palette from scratch. So we leveraged these photos and real UI designs and real situations and environments to make sure that first, we've got the feeling down pat, we've got the emotions down pat, because these align with what the business wants and what the target audience wants. We want to make sure that when you log into this app, it's very clean, it's refreshing, it's light, it's calm. So we've found the photos, we've found the UI designs that align with that, and then we actually go in and select the colors from these inspiration because they reflect a real environment. That is what's most important. And then from here, you might realize, oh, maybe the charcoal gray might need to be a little bit darker. You can either color pick it yourself and you can actually increase the darkness. You might even move it around a little bit, and you can really judge it with your eye, or you can use HSB. You can use whatever color coding you want, and you can systematically increase it so you're not sort of eyeballing it and just taking a guess. So hopefully that gave you a really quick understanding of how you can create a very effective color palette from scratch without a generator. So if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video, make sure to gently smash that like button. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in another video very soon.